Attentivity is simply the study of accuracy. I know that sounds dumb. I mean, why can't things just be accurate and let that be that? Well, it might not be that easy.
Now, human cloning raises deep ethical concerns. There is virtually unanimous consensus in the scientific and medical communities that attempting to use known cloning techniques to actually create a human being is untested, unsafe, and morally unacceptable.
Attentivity is simply the study of accuracy. I know that sounds dumb. I mean, why can't things just be accurate and let that be that? Well, it might not be that easy.
In the next century, no less than this one, America must continue to be the world's greatest force for peace and freedom and prosperity. Madeleine Albright has the strength and wisdom to help ensure that America remains the indispensable nation.
I state your name.
I, Madeleine Corbell Albright,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States.
This one's kind of fun. Existential attentivity is the study of paying attention to what's happening with your existence or your existence process. For instance, the nervous system is this life form's way, the PLF's way, of saying pay attention to something. So, if you happen to stub your toe accidentally, that was probably the PLF getting you to pay attention to something that it wants you to pay attention to so much that you stub your toe and feel pain in your nervous system.
I got a bucket. Oh yeah, well I got a hose. Yeah, well, I got a whole pool. You have to live in the center of the earth not to love Mickey Mouse. But he's almost too perfect, isn't he? Just once. Wouldn't you love to see him cut loose and get down?
Got laughs from coast to coast to make you smile. A real life look at each of you to capture all that style. You're the red, white, and blue. The funnest things you do. America, America, this is you. Stories from your friends next door, but they never told. You might be a star tonight, so let that camera roll. You're the red, white, and blue. All the funnest things you do. America, America, this is you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Saget.
So what is sentential attentivity? Well, that's agreements with states of awareness. So with existential attentivity, you would agree that if your toe hurts, you need to pay attention to that. But it's not so easy with a state of awareness. Supposing this life form wants you to be kind to somebody. How do you do that? Who determines what is kind, and where can that agreement be made? Well, that's what sentential attentivity figures out for us.
This is CNN breaking news.
The president made a brief statement calling the message from Vega one of the most stunning insights into our
attendance at religious services has risen a dramatic 39% in recent days.
As police in 3 German armed divisions clashed with neo-Nazi protesters.
So it turns out there's life on other planets. Boy, this is really going to change the Miss Universe contest, don't you think? I mean, gee, we're going to have to...
Health officials from around the world are concerned that the message from Vega might trigger a rash of mass suicides, not unlike the recent cult deaths near San Diego.
Even a scientist has to admit that there are some pretty serious religious overtones to all this.
Let's hear from someone whose organization has been accused of conducting its own inquisition in recent days. Richard Rank, head of the Conservative Coalition.
Thank you. This is yet another example of science intruding into matters of faith. Now they will have us set a place at the table for politics.
They have been reacting to TV signals they got from us in the 1930s. They're just getting them. Imagine how disappointed they're going to turn out to be if they're Cubs fans. I mean,
we now take you to Jeremy Roth, who is reporting on events at the Very Large Array near Socorro, New Mexico.
Like a bolt from the blue it came. What is being called the message from Vega has caused thousands of believers and non-believers to descend upon the VLA facility here in the remote desert of New Mexico. Many have come to protest, many to pray, but most have come to participate in what has become the best show in town.
Well, I saw the thing coming out of the sky. It had one long horn and a one big eye. I commenced to shaking and I said, ooh-wee. Looks like a purple people eater to me. It was a one-eyed, one-horned, blind purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horned, blind purple people eater. I want to be a spaceman. That's what I want.
But they have failed. It's the same people who again and again have brought us to the brink of destruction, who polluted our air, who poisoned our water. Now these scientists have had their chance. Are these the kind of people that you want talking to your God for you?
Efforts continue around the clock.
We can break down time with dates to answer this question. In fact, by being accurate with the date of a standard time production, we can use that numerical data to figure out what exactly the PLF was doing to any standard time production. In fact, we could find out, using the numerical data, very specific matching processes this life form wanted us to pay attention to.
And then finally, attentivity is using dates. So like a date 1965 can be used because for the termination of the singular life path. Right now, when we die on Earth, we go to the planets in heaven, and every 500 years we're transported to another planet that's been cultivated already by previous generations. And before them, previous forms of life, such as animals and dinosaurs, and then before them, microbes and things that cultivate the planets so that each generation afterward can use it. Well, when it hits, these are called inhabited planets, IPs. So when it hits IP 6,500,000, the singular life path is going to be stopped. There's no longer going to be IP transference of individuals in order to force us to go on space exploration. So films that came out in 1965, because of this number 65, the 6,500,000, all refer to the stopping of the singular life path. And if you watch the film The Sound of Music, her arms go really wide when she's singing. This symbol is a signal for the single life path from IP1 to the final IP at 6,500,000. And that's what those wide arms mean. Whenever you see wide arms like that, it symbolizes, or 2 points, it symbolizes the single life path, or it can. You might have to use the numbers, numerality or attentivity 1965, to determine if that's what it's talking about or if it's talking about something else, such as particle explosions, which are needed for Western pairs, or not Western pairs, Western particle explosions for self-PC.
Like the wings of the birds that rise from the lake to the trees. My heart wants to sigh like a chime that flies from a church on a breeze. To laugh like a brook when it trips and falls over stones on its way. To sing through the night like a lark who is learning to pray. I go to the hills when my heart is lonely. I know I will hear what I've heard before. My heart will be blessed with the sound of
I don't know. Let's do it.
Cat Baloo, Cat Baloo, she's mean and evil through and through. Cat Baloo, Cat Baloo. Cat, your time has come. As you stand on the brink, it's sure making you think about your life of sin. How come they're now gonna hang you? And how did you begin?
Now let's see. Where was I? I wonder which way I ought to go.
The brilliant and the slimy toes did the guile and gimbal in the way. All amusing were the border robes and the mole rats out of gray.
Now, where in the world do you suppose that?
Lose something?
Oh! Well, I was... No, I mean, I was just wondering...
Oh, that's quite all right. One moment, please. Ooh. Second chorus. 'Twas brilliant and the slithy toves did the gyre and the gimbal in the wave.
Why, you're a cat.
A Cheshire cat, all a mimsy, or the border goes.
Oh, wait! Don't go, please!
Very well. Third chorus.
Oh, no. Thank you, but I just wanted to ask you which way I ought to go.
Well, that depends on where you want to get to.
Oh, it really doesn't matter. As long as I can...
Then it really doesn't matter which way you go. Oh, by the way, if you'd really like to know, he went that way.
Who did?
The White Rabbit.
He did?
He did what?
Went that way.
Who did?
The White Rabbit.
What rabbit?
But didn't you just say... I mean, oh, dear.
Can you stand on your head? However, if I were looking for a white rabbit, I'd ask the Mad Hatter.
The Mad Hatter? No, I don't...
Or there's the March Hare in that direction.
Thank you. I think I shall visit him.
Of course, he's mad, too.
But I don't want to go among mad people.
Oh, you can't help that. Most everyone's mad here. You may have noticed that I'm not all there myself. And the more out of
We're all the same schmuck. And it just cracks me up that we try so desperately to be unique when we're all the same cat. Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, me, you. Every cat has got that one chick who really busted up his ass.
Just a minute.
There he stands in his underwear, pleading like a dummy.
Flash. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of El Stinko El Floppo screaming of Joe Gideon's new film, The Stand-Up, we are proud to present those two dancing sensations, Jagger and Gideon.
Gideon and Jagger.
Gideon and Jagger. Give us our music, Joe. And then a rehearsed tribute. Sit down, Joe. Sit down.
Sit down, Daddy.
When trumpets were mellow, everyone only had one fellow. No need to remember when, 'cause everything old is new again. I said everything old is new again. And Sinatra, Long Island, Jazz Age parties. Waiter, let me have some more Bacardis. Let's order now what they ordered then, 'cause everything old is new again. Get out your white suit, your tap shoes and tail.
Scoop.
Let's go backward when forward fails.
Strut. I know.
Movie stars, that's the stuff of long dead. Now frame beside your bed. Don't throw the past away. You might need it some rainy day. Dreams can come true again. When everything old is new again. I said everything old is new again. Here we go. The top shoes and tail. Let's go backward when forward fails. Leave red alone. Big movie stars are gone and gone strong. Don't throw the past away. Oh, we're all gonna need it some rainy day. Dreams can't come true again. When everything old is new again. I said everything old is new again.
Pretty pictures.
I might fall. I might fall in love. In love with you again.
Daddy, can we do it again?
Well, you got a new dance and it goes like this. Yeah, the name of the dance is the peppermint twist. Well, you like it like this, the peppermint twist. Round and round, up and down, round and round, up and down, round and round and up and down. And 1, 2, 3, kick, 1, 2, 3, jump.
If you were to ask any random person on the street in the West, the first thing which came to mind when you mentioned the Cold War, they'd probably say communism. The second thing they might say is nuclear weapons. But the third thing might be the Red Scare. The Red Scare of the 1950s is probably one of the most iconic periods of the American front of the Cold War. People who know nothing of history will likely know something about McCarthy's witch hunts, or the House Un-American Activities Committee hearings. At least, I hope so. I'm your host, David, and today we will dissect the Red Scare and look at the high watermark of anti-communist paranoia in the United States. This is the Cold War. The Republican Party saw the paranoia rising in the American electorate. They decided that if they could stoke these fires and call the Democrats soft on communism, they might just get more votes. No Republican jumped on that plan harder than Wisconsin Senator Joseph McCarthy. In February of 1950, McCarthy, at a meeting of the Republican Women's Club, brandished a piece of paper and claimed he had in his hands the list of 205 people who worked in the State Department who were known to be members of the Communist Party. Coverage of it turned him into an overnight celebrity, and this is what earned the second Red Scare the nickname McCarthyism. At the peak of this witch hunt, you saw propaganda such as anti-communist films and sensationalist journalism, which today look absolutely ridiculous from our vantage point. Now, of course, this wasn't fun and games. Many people had their lives completely upended and even destroyed by these investigations. One of the examples I don't think gets enough attention is what's now called the Lavender Scare. These investigations into secretive behavior often exposed government employees who were LGBTQ+. They'd then be fired for that. This hunt for secret gay government employees continued long after the peak of the Red Scare. In 1953, McCarthy turned his eye towards secret communists in the military. During the hearings, the Army accused McCarthy and his attorney, Roy Cohn, of not conducting their investigation in a fair manner. The report didn't say much, but the televised hearings made McCarthy look like he was being a dishonest bully. His popularity dropped in the polls, and the Republican Party, fearing he'd become a liability, began to distance themselves from him and his work. He was soon condemned by many Republican colleagues. The Senate eventually voted to censure him in 1954. McCarthy then faded into the background and has since become a synonym for paranoid witch hunts. Now, while this was the peak of anti-communist paranoia, the hunt for secret communists would continue less vigorously until well into the 1960s. Many lives were ruined, and left-wing politics continued to be a sideline political current in the United States. It also brought the Cold War home. Now Americans felt anyone could be a potential communist, which would shape culture going forward. Association with socialism or the left was a way to smear the character of civil rights activists, environmentalists, and, when we get to the Vietnam War, anti-draft activists. It's a specter still haunting America to this day, just one of the many lasting legacies of the Cold War we continue to deal with.
thing. Like there were kids that 8 and 9 years old that were sniffing airplane glue to get high on, you know. And so I had sort of a fantasy how it happened. The kid is alone in his room, and it's Saturday. The child is played by George McCready. Well, let's see now. I'm all alone in the room, and it's Saturday. Mother's away, and what'll I do that's good and hostile? Let's see. I'll make an airplane. That's good. I'll make a landscape. Good structural design. I'll get the board wood. I'll stand it here. I'll cut that off. I'll get the struts now. Now I'll get an airplane glue. I'll rub it on the rag and here now, it's another plane. I'm getting loaded. Is this possible, loaded on airplane glue? Maybe it's just stuffy in here. I'll call my dog over. Flicka. Flicka, come here, darling, and smell this rag. Smell it, you freaky little doggy. Smell that rag, Flicka. Flicka. Flicka! It won't. I'm the Louis Pasteur of junkiedom. I'm out of my skull for tinner. Well, there's much work to be done now. Horses' hooves to melt down, noses to get ready. Cut to the toy store. Any toy store, any hobby shop. Might be your kid who walked in that day. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Hello, Mrs. Schindler. Nice store you got here. Give me a nickel's worth of pencils and a big boy tablet and some erasers and 2,000 tubes of airplane glue.